Can a single backstage eruption torch a rising star's future and leave her staring down a fine so big it could fund a small national tour? That's the price tag insiders now whisper over Rachel Zegler's name. A jaw-dropping $5 million conduct penalty tied to the implosion of the West End revival of Evita. The threat didn't leak through a press release. It oozed out of theater gossip accounts and fan forums, spreading faster than any official statement ever could. Overnight, the story morphed from hushed rumor to headline. The next big thing might pay more for one meltdown than most actors make in a decade. But that sticker shock only makes sense once you know how a golden opportunity soured the instant rehearsals began. Less than 2 years ago, Zegler was Hollywood's new fairy tale heroine. Disney's live-action Snow White, fresh off a Golden Globe win for West Side Story. Her voice could rattle rafters, her Latino heritage felt like modern casting magic, and landing Evita looked like destiny. The first Gen Z Latina to tackle Eva Peron on a major London stage. Studios lined up offers, producers counted pre-sales, and fans tweeted crown emoji predictions of her Tony run. Yet success brought a spotlight hotter than stage lights. During Snow White promo, Rachel mocked the original 1937 plot and prints as weird relics, triggering a fury that forced Disney to scale back marketing and hide press junkets. Still, the Evita contract seemed bulletproof. 8 shows a week, a prime rehearsal block, and, according to leaks, a thick conduct and reputation clause most actors never read past page 3. Behind that legal jargon lay a fuse nobody expected to spark so soon. Because from day one, the rehearsal room started rumbling. First came whispers of late arrivals. 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there. Then rumors of passive-aggressive exchanges with vocal coaches. Not screaming matches, but enough tension to chill a warm-up. One crew member claimed Rachel would turn silent, arms folded, whenever the choreographer stopped to adjust blocking. Another said she slipped out early on nights slated for full company run-throughs. The moment that lit every group chat was a grainy 15-second phone clip, Zegler spinning halfway through Buenos Aires, missing a lift, tossing a stage prop, and storming off while a stage manager hurried after her. Within hours, the clip hit TikTok's hashtag Evita tag, racking up 1 million loops before producers filed takedowns. Too late. The internet had its diva meltdown visual proof, but the real detonation wasn't the video. It was what leaked next. The private messages. Screenshots surfaced on Reddit's ERR the West End. Green bubble texts allegedly from Rachel calling the ensemble snakes and claiming she'd been set up to fail from day one. She accused unnamed castmates of feeding tabloids, slammed Jamie Lloyd's stripped-down staging as soulless, and vowed she'd walk before they break me. Authentic or not, the posts split the fandom in two. Supporters insisted she was venting under crushing pressure. Critics saw proof she'd torched every Goodwill bridge left. More leaks followed. Voice notes, a selfie crying in the dressing room, each one feeding TikTok stitches that clocked millions of views. The hashtag #ReplaceRachel trended for 72 hours, bolstered by a change.org petition demanding producers fire her. It passed 100K signatures before moderators froze duplicate bots. Backstage, the creative team stopped talking to press entirely. Instead, they dug through the contract and found the nuclear button most stars forget exists. Conduct and reputation clauses read like bedtime stories until someone invokes them. According to Theater Insider channels, Evita's 12b states that if the lead's public behavior materially damages the commercial prospects of the show, producers can impose liquidated damages equal to projected losses. Here, allegedly, $5 million. Why leak that number? Lawyers call it a silent scare tactic. By letting the figure circulate without confirmation, the production shifts the headline from Rachel's complaints to her potential liability. It reminds every investor, sponsor, and understudy exactly who holds the purse strings. And it forces Rachel's camp to choose: double down publicly and risk court discovery, or go dark and pray the storm blows over. Problem is, once fear enters the fan space, it mutates fast. Within a week, YouTube commentary channels pumped out thumbnails screaming, "Zegler fined $5 million?" The discourse ballooned beyond theater Twitter. Sports talk hosts weighed in. A finance podcast calculated how many West End tickets equal £5 million. Even mainstream outlets recapped Rachel's prior PR flares. The Snow White backlash, her on-camera quip that she accepted Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Because I needed a job, and fresh chatter she'd been recast in Paddington 3, officially because of strike-era scheduling, unofficially because studios feared her radioactive press. Each resurfaced headline dug the trench deeper. Some fans chanted, "Diva gets karma." Others argued she was being punished for daring to speak while young, Latina, and outspoken. TikTok edits spliced her tearing up on press tours with Eva Perón's "Don't Cry for Me Argentina," while Reddit sleuths tracked every blackout date on Evita's ticket site looking for cancellations. And through it all, the producers said nothing. Entertainment attorneys now guest star in fan spaces, debating if the hammer can actually fall. On one side, yes, if producers document financial harm, slowed pre-sales, refunded tickets, sponsors pulling ads, they can sue. In an equity contract, liquidated damages are enforceable if carefully capped. On the other, nearly impossible to quantify reputational damage in court without years of bookkeeping and expert witnesses. It's cheaper to threaten than litigate. The silence itself is a tactic. As one Broadway lawyer quipped on a podcast, the clause is a loaded gun on the mantle. You don't fire it, you let everyone see it gleam under the stage lights. The mere idea of a lawsuit can freeze a star's future, casting faster than any verdict. Which leaves Rachel's camp wrestling a chess problem. Speak up and pour gasoline on the rumor, or stay silent and watch it calcify as fact. Either path risks career collateral. Industry veterans point to two roads from here. The first is the humility pivot. Issue a measured apology, step back from socials, finish the run with no more drama, and line up a low-profile indie film to reset the brand. Hollywood loves a comeback, especially when the talent is undeniable. The second road is what some fear Rachel is already sprinting down. Dig in, blame the machine, paint every backlash as bigotry, and bank on a core fandom loud enough to drown out skepticism. That strategy can work, until casting directors start picturing courtrooms instead of opening nights. Because history is ruthless. For every Marlon Brando who turned rebellion into legend, there are 10 stars whose names became cautionary tales whispered on set about what happens when you burn too many bridges too young. The next few months will show which shelf absorbs Rachel Zegler's story. So where does that leave the Evita saga? With a silence so loud it echoes beyond the West End. A leaked clause no one will confirm. A petition thousands have signed, and a star whose biggest obstacle might now be her own narrative. Maybe the fine is real. Maybe it's a paper tiger. But one truth stands. In modern showbiz, perception can bankrupt you long before any judge's gavel falls. And that makes the final act ours to watch. Will Rachel stage the mother of all comebacks? Or will Clause 12B become Broadway's newest ghost story, told every time a young lead forgets that contracts cut both ways? Hit subscribe, leave your verdict in the comments, and keep your eyes on the marquee, because this drama, it's only just taken its first bow.